Let's see what we can get for useful parts from an old DVD player. This DVD player was found near a TV repair shop. They had tossed it away, and on this note here it says what the problem is. Yes, this underpart here is not important. This is the important thing. It says åskskadad, resten tror helt. Åskskadad means that it was hit by lightning and maybe something exploded inside of it, but it says the rest is fine. So maybe the power supply is blown. And you can see on the back here, this is not a new unit. We don't got any HDMI connector or anything like that. We got some optical audio here, coaxial, and we got some audio outputs here, surround system, video output, and a SCART. Let's take the lid off and see what the problem is. Here we go. It doesn't look so much damaged. I just expect a completely blown to bits power supply. As you can see here, is that a blob of solder? The inductor here is totally blown. The fuse is blown and the chip is blown. Yeah, so you can see the blown part. Obviously the whole power supply is gone. I don't know how the secondary side looks like, but maybe the secondary is fine if it hasn't jumped through this transformer. It can have done that. But anyway, let's see if we can find any salvageable parts from this. Let's remove the power supply first. Removing the wire and some connectors. And unscrewing it. Yes, let's have a look at the power supply. The front here. And it looks quite good on the bottom. No black marks. Pretty light, wasn't heavy at all. So yes, this is damaged by lightning, so I don't recommend you taking anything from this circuit board. Maybe some capacitors, but they are obviously not good anymore. This is switching power supplies, always this capacitor has some problem. But maybe some are good, you have to measure that. Some internal resistance measurement as well. Just throw the power supply away at the moment, because this one is damaged by lightning. Yes, and the main cord you can just remove it by pressing it a little bit. We got it, mains cord, can always be used. And in here we got some wires. Nice connectors on it. You can desolder these ones as well. Just removing all the wires. This one goes to display, and these two goes to this CD DVD drive. We got a module here, which is a SCART connector. Let's unscrew all the screws from the back. And now we can remove this SCART connection. This is our own unit. Can come in handy if you use a SCART wire for something. Now we can remove the circuit board. And this is the wire from the reader. Here's a circuit board. On these circuit boards, these capacitors are a bit better, because they don't have this high frequency ripple on them all the time. Now let's remove this CD DVD drive. Now we can remove it. Still stuck on the display, so remove the display first. Clip it in place. So, clips underneath there. Here it goes. And the CD reader comes with this as well. So some metal housing. Let's take this CD DVD reader apart. These have some motors and magnets. Let's removing this part here first. You see, there's a magnet in here. You can see it's just a ferrite magnet. Pretty nice magnet. And in here we should have 3 motors. One here, and one here. Sometimes this one and this one here are stepper motors, but these are good. These are just ordinary DC motors. Salvage those ones. If you remove this part here, where the reader is located, just pushing it out. Here we go, 2 motors. Got to remove that motor as well. There are pretty many wires. Switch here, this motor, and the screws are from the back. And if you can't open this, there's a little lever here. See, that is a lever inside of that. You push that lever, should open it up. Look at that. And there's the screws for the motor. And there's one DC motor with a circuit board. And this is just the plastic scrap. Let's take away some parts from this one. It's removing those wires first. Let's remove the reader. Here is the reader. We should got some kind of laser diode inside of this one. It's quite weak, and we should got 2 neodymium magnets as well. And here are the 2 motors. Let's begin removing this disc from the top here. Always a bit tricky to remove those. They break quite easily. Here we go. And for this one, we need to remove these cogs first. Like this. And I will just unscrew the screws. Yes, here we got the 2 motors. Just cut them away from the circuit board here. Yes, here we have the 3 motors. Let's take this part apart. Here's the reader. And again, if you see a screw, remove the screw. Now just remove the metal sheets. Let's see what's inside of it. Here's the laser diode, but those are quite weak, so I just don't remove them. The interesting part is inside of this thing. It's quite nice lens there. And inside of this one, we got the neodymium magnets. Here we got them. They're quite strong, even if they are quite small. Just poke the screwdriver underneath, and they just come right off. I got it. 2 neodymium magnets. Let's see if we can get any good things out of the display. Let's look at that. It's a vacuum fluorescent display, alphanumerical with the dots. It's quite interesting display that is. I usually don't remove the displays. They're just a bit hard to get working, especially these VFDs. Got an LED, some capacitors, and a RF receiver. And this is just plastic scrap. Yes, here are all the parts we got from that DVD player. A bunch of circuit boards with a lot of different components on them. Got display, VFD, and we got some good, maybe the capacitors are good on this one, and good connectors, a bunch of small DC motors, mains cable, some low voltage wires, got some rods, some switches and magnet, around the ferrite magnet, some small neodymium magnets. Maybe you can use that for some fridge magnets and stuff like that. Got some rubber standoffs, small screws and larger screws. And we got some of these gears and belt, small belt drive. And yes, we can get a lot of good stuff from these DVD drives or DVD players. So I hope you found this video interesting, and thanks for watching.